WWE in disbelief over a controversial segment on Raw. Plus, TNA makes some big backstage changes ahead of Bound for Glory. And there was an NXT debut with a name change for a major new signing. It's all in the Cultaholic Wrestling news right now. So there was a segment on Raw this past Monday that raised some eyebrows after Io Sky and Kairi Sane finished speaking to Adam Pearce backstage. Carlito entered the shots, and as Kairi Sane and Io Sky were speaking Japanese to each other, he looks back at where they were leaving and says out loud, "I gotta learn to speak Chinese." This drew some, as we say, some raised eyebrows, didn't it?
Yeah, and it's worth noting that that line has since been edited out of all official WWE digital clips as well. So clearly there are those within the company that it raised eyebrows with as well, not just with viewers too. Now a report from Fightful has an update saying that the claim internally from at least one staff member is that the line was not scripted and that they had those they had spoken to were in disbelief that it was said. Internally, there were a number in the company that weren't happy that it happened. Fightful haven't heard of any action or heat on anyone for the situation as of yet.
Now, going back a few years, you remember when Io Sky was in NXT, and there's a clip that's done the rounds a few times of somebody in the crowd shouting, "Go back to China."
Oh, yeah.
To which she responds by shouting, "I'm Japanese."
Yeah.
We could say bitch, can't we? The algorithm's fine with that. That's fine. Some of them you can, some of them you can't.
And fair play to her for having the wherewithal to come up with a quick retort in what could have been quite an aggravating situation, I imagine.
Exactly. A few people online have said that this could be a callback to that. But regardless, it was a line that, according to Fightful, wasn't cleared through WWE. And when we know more about it, we'll let you know more at cultaholic.com. Now, TNA presenting Bound for Glory this weekend. Joe Hendry's got to win the TNA World title.
In my heart.
In my heart. In my waters.
I don't know.
He has to.
I would love for him to, and I think he should. But I don't know yet whether he will. What do you think?
He has to.
Well, yes, I know
that's all that it can be for me.
But it's not what we want to happen. It's what we think's going to happen.
But it's also what we want to happen.
Well, okay, fair enough then.
It's mainly what we want to happen. But we're not talking about that right now. Fightful Select reporting that there's been 2 new signings behind the scenes at TNA ahead of Bound for Glory, which sees 2 TNA stars returning to the company.
Yes, one of them is Sami Callihan, who's making his comeback to TNA as not only an on-screen talent, but working backstage as well as the live events and marketing consultant. Sami's success with promoting his own company, Pro Wrestling Revolver, helped in TNA's decision to hire him in a multi-purpose role. He's got experience. He's a self-made man in terms of running Pro Wrestling Revolver, so I guess that's a good CV to have.
It's also been confirmed that former TNA name, former WWE name, Christy Hemme is back with the company as well. She's working as head of marketing for TNA, and she's going to be in a department that also includes current TNA talent Alicia Edwards, who has been working for a little while now as marketing coordinator. So we're seeing quite a few longer-standing stars within TNA take on other roles in and around the company.
And I think that's useful as well because, well, I believe that Christy Hemme has had experience in the past with behind-the-scenes roles in TNA as well.
Yes, she has, yeah.
So she's clearly cut out for the job there. But also when you've got people in those positions who've also been wrestling for years or have been involved on screen for years, maybe they can look at certain things not only from an office point of view but from a talent point of view as well, so it gives a more well-rounded approach to those roles, I suppose.
I think having that experience will definitely help, but it's all part of TNA constantly sort of transmogrifying and changing shape, going into their big show of the year, Bound for Glory, which is this weekend, and Joe Hendry will become TNA World Heavyweight Champion.
God,
thank you very
I hope
much.
So
He needs to.
I'm nervous. Yeah, I'm nervous.
It's one of the very few wrestling results I'm legit nervous for.
Oh man, yeah, it feels like when England were like in the semi-final of like a World Cup.
It is, isn't it?
Oh god.
You probably watched this guy.
England? No, he's Scottish. What am I talking about? That was
for us it's England.
That was a terrible comparison. I know, but
Scotland never
he
in the
wouldn't
final.
appreciate
Come
that
on.
at all. Sorry, Joe. Sorry, Scotland.
Some people might be thinking, "Oh, you're just saying that because Joe Hendry is your mate and you're biased." And you're right. You're absolutely
100%,
right.
Yeah.
You're absolutely 100% right with bias.
Yeah, of course.
100% bias there.
I do agree, though, from a slightly more trying to be a more objective point of view.
No.
Though, that Joe Hendry winning the belt would represent more of a step forward for TNA than having it on Nick Nemeth. Nothing against the great Nick Nemeth, of course.
Yeah.
But Hendry, it feels like they should really capitalize on the year that he's had. But on the other hand, will they, knowing that his contract runs out next year, I believe it's been reported, and it's a bit of an open secret that he could well just jump to NXT after that. So I think their decision, this booking decision here, will say a lot about TNA's intentions in 2025.
Very much so. This weekend also NXT presents Halloween Havoc, their
Spoopy.
PLE. It's the spoopy weekend.
I've never enjoyed spooky this time of year, Tom, right? Not to go on a big rant or anything. Just, you know how you feel about Pancake Day as a radio DJ?
I do dislike Pancake Day,
Because
yes.
everybody, the bog standard thing.
Radio wanker, and you know who you are, asks the audience, what are you having on your pancakes? It's rubbish banter.
Well, I
should know.
I feel a bit like that about Halloween. Don't mind it, one night, whatever, it's fine. I'll dress your kids up, go and get them sweets and that. And yeah, it's all great stuff, and I don't mind that at all. But everything becomes about Halloween. Every website I go on, every shop I do is bombarded with, what are you do? You're looking for this thing, but how about different spooky thing instead? and that brings us to NXT Halloween Havoc. I think I'm very much alone in that, but I just,
Aidan, by the way, Aidan Gibbons runs Cultaholic.com. Have you put little cobwebs in the corner of the website yet?
No!
Monstrous behaviour. Halloween Havoc is this weekend. A few more matches added to the PLE last night on NXT.
Yes, sorry.
It's all right.
Yes,
Take a beat.
yes.
Take a beat. This is your Pancake Day, and I respect
Now,
that.
this is a match that I don't mind being on Halloween Havoc because it's an ambulance match, which is gritty and realism-based. and it concerns a heated feud as well, and one that I think has a very clear babyface and a very clear heel. It's Andre Chase trying to defend the honour of Chase University in an ambulance match against Ridge Holland, the man who took him out at NXT's last PLE No Mercy, and has also been taking out various other members of Chase U as well. This could truly go either way. We could either see the continued rise of Ridge, or this could be the revenge of Andre Chase.
The NXT Women's North American Championship on the line. Kalani Jordan defending against one of the members of Fatal Influence, and the Wheel determined that the match would be Spinner's Choice.
Okay.
Fatal 4-way. Put all of them in there. That's my thoughts.
That's a good shout, or at least a stipulation that massively favours the heel and Kalani has to overcome.
Oh yeah, maybe go old school. One's the guest referee.
Yeah.
One's the guest timekeeper.
Or like maybe like the old like I'm allowed to use weapons but you're not allowed to use weapons, that sort of thing.
Yeah.
Could be something like that.
There's some fun to be had with that one. Also already confirmed for Halloween Havoc this Sunday. It's going to be Roxanne Perez and Cora Jade taking on Julia and Stephanie Vaquer.
Big marquee tag match there featuring four of the biggest talents in the women's division. NXT North American Championship also on the line in a tables, ladders and scares match. Come on. Tony D'Angelo defending his newly won belt against the man he took it from, Obafemi.
And the NXT title on the line. Trick Williams defending against Ethan Page in a Devil's Playground match.
Ooh, Devil's Playground. It'll be weapons, there'll be no DQ. It'll be a street fight.
No, it's a Devil's Playground.
Right.
Hit him with a tombstone. A literal tombstone.
Or a shovel. Bang.
Oh, someone's getting hit with a shovel.
Oh, yeah.
Can't
A
wait.
pumpkin on the head.
Oh.
No, maybe that one's a bit comedic, isn't it?
I think it's very comedic. That's why you should definitely do it. She's definitely do it. Hey, this wasn't fun though. At the end of the night, the closing moments of NXT saw the arrival of NXT's newest signing. After weeks of vignettes, we got our first look in the NXT shed at Delta. There she is. A unit that has been having these beautiful videos walking through this post-apocalyptic city.
Yeah.
And causing havoc.
Yeah, at first, I remember there was one where she was portrayed beating up like hordes of baddies, I suppose, in like the desert, and approaching on a skyscraper which had NXT as the sign or the logo at the top of the
That's what
skyscraper.
the NXT shed looks like from the outside.
Yes. And then the next week, she was at the top of that skyscraper, but then she knocked the sign down. And I was like, oh, she's turned heel already. Because she was beating up all the baddies before that. But now in the second vignette, she's knocked over the sign. I'm like,
Oh, she doesn't like NXT, but she appeared in the flesh last night in the closing seconds of NXT, and she's got a new name as well. We're not going to be calling her Delta.
No, her new moniker is going to be Zarya on the NXT roster. And the final vignettes also showed the Halloween Havoc logo, which definitely implies that she'll at least make her presence felt on the weekend. I think the women's division in NXT, they do mention it a lot themselves. They're very proud of themselves, but that doesn't change the fact that they have amassed a serious collection of talent in the NXT women's division. And Zarya, not Delta, Zarya is the latest this one because she's been having she's built up quite a quick and impressive reputation on the Australian independent scene.
Big style.
Yes.
How do you debut her? I don't actually want to put her in the mix with Julia, Stephanie Vaquer, Roxanne Perez, and Cora Jade straight away.
No, just keep her separate and have her build up her wins away from them, do you think?
Maybe you have Kalani Jordan survive the Devil's, whatever Spinner's choice is.
Yes.
And then Delta comes out, beats up all 3 members of Fatal Influence, and then beats up Kalani Jordan.
I think you might be right.
Tears through them.
I think it'll definitely be after one of those 2 women's matches. I don't think she's going to get like a surprise match herself or a dedicated promo segment or anything. I do feel like it will be in the aftermath or during one of those 2 women's matches. And I think I agree with you. I'd prefer it to be in the Kalani Jordan match, but we'll see.
Make her Goldbergian and just have a series of short, fiery, snappy wins that make her undeniable.
Yes.
That's how I would do it. No twitching tonight.
No twitching tonight.
Worth pointing out.
Yes, Owen's away, so we're giving it a miss this week, but hopefully we will be back next week. It's most Wednesdays at 6 p.m. UK time. Ross has been doing, on his Hold and Give football channel, he's been doing it's not called FIFA anymore.
It's called FC24.
He's been doing a career mode as Sunderland.
How are you finding that?
I've been watching it and it's heart-wrenching because he really tries hard, and when they win he really feels it. He's not half-arsing it. He's not going like, I guess I'll be Sunderland. He's really wants them to win, but then he gets really angry at them when they lose, even though he's the one controlling them. It's really entertaining. You should give it a watch as well, and I think the VODs are up on the Hold and Give YouTube page as well.
And on the podcast feed today, brand new episode of Desert Island Graps featuring pro wrestling knowers LJ Cleary. Lovely to have a chat with him. Recently got engaged to WWE's Aoife Valkyrie across the bunch of Lyra Valkyria.
Yes.
I see. That's because I joked that Matthew can't pronounce Lyra Valkyria.
And now
now I can't do it.
Oh, it's the spooky powers of Halloween. No, I'll have to give that a listen. LJ Cleary, wonderful head of hair.
He has a fantastic head of hair. And find out how wetting his hair and standing across the ring from Pac changed everything.
Okay.
Hook and a tease. It's in the podcast feed. And if you're a Patreon, as a thank you, you can watch the video version there as well. And for the latest wrestling news at any time, you can check out cultaholic.com. Stay safe. Love you. Bye.